Good morning, and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann here with Phil Zepeda in the studio today. Well, good morning, Phil.
Hey, good morning, Katie. It's great to be with you.
We are delighted to be with all of you on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago and a live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. As you have heard in recent weeks here on the Voice of Charity, it's an exciting time at Catholic Charities as we expand our programs and services on the local parish level, establishing regional mission boards that align with the 6 vicariates in the Archdiocese of Chicago. We are also revitalizing our call to serve by creating a groundbreaking new way for Catholic Charities to gather professionals who influence corporate, philanthropic, and government decision makers, and host events that will include dialogue and debate on issues such as economic growth, social justice, the mission of charity, and the power of faith in serving.
That's right, Katie. And this dialogue and debate will be made possible through Catholic Charities' new St. Martin de Porres Society. And the inaugural event for this society is coming up next week, next Wednesday, June 22nd at the Newberry Library right here in downtown Chicago on the Gold Coast. Here to tell us more about this fantastic new program and this forum for intellectual discovery and debate is Matt McCabe, our Executive Director for Strategic Initiatives, and my buddy back at the office. Good to see you, Matt. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Phil. Good morning, Katie. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Matt.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit more about the St. Martin de Porres Society. We're really excited to launch the event next Wednesday, as Phil mentioned, 5 p.m. at the Newberry Library. And before I go any further, tickets are on sale now and going quickly, CatholicCharities.net, or you can call our main line and we will get you the information you need. But we expect to have a great room full of people brought together to talk about the important issues of the day. And that's really what the St. Martin de Porres Society is meant to be. We think there's lots of places for public discussion in Chicago, whether it's the City Club or Economic Club. But what we think St. Martin de Porres Society is going to stand out is approaching these issues from a lens of faith. And what does it mean to be living in a world where this pandemic drags on and wealth inequality widens, or we see the challenges of poverty or homelessness in our city up close and personal? What does it mean to approach those sorts of systemic challenges from a lens of faith? And so that's why we're excited to launch this first event. We can talk a little bit more about the content of this first one, but this is really going to be a series of bringing people together. So I encourage anybody who's listening to join us. We will have people attending from all over Chicago and the suburbs, and we expect a lively conversation.
So it does fill a void, right, Matt? And like an opportunity to bring these topics to light in a great, safe forum with thought leaders and opinion leaders, which is what's so exciting about it. And throughout this program, you'll hear us constantly talking about the ways for you to find out more. Matt mentioned it's CatholicCharities.net to get your reservation. It is at the Newberry Library on June 22nd, right here downtown, 60 West Walton. You can go to the website, and again, we'll talk about this multiple times. You can call us at Catholic Charities or email us. You can call us at 312-948-6797, 312-948-6797, or email us. You're actually emailing Katie at partners at CatholicCharities.net. That's just partners at CatholicCharities.net. So we will talk more about the society, but we really want to get into learning more about who St. Martin de Porres is, right, Katie?
Absolutely. And so he is such a fascinating person and a great role model, and we honor him with the establishment of this society, and like to share with you a little bit about his biography. St. Martin de Porres was born December 9th, 1579 in Lima, Peru. He was the illegitimate son of a Spanish gentleman and a freed slave from Panama of Africa or possibly Native American descent. At a young age, Martin's father abandoned him, his mother, and his younger sister, leaving Martin to grow up in deep poverty. After spending just 2 years in primary school, Martin was placed with a barber and a surgeon, and so he learned how to cut hair, and he learned a lot about the field of medicine. As Martin grew older, he experienced a great deal of ridicule for being of mixed race. He spent many long hours in prayer, and he decided to pursue a religious life. But in Peru, by law, all descendants of Africans and Indians were not allowed to become full members of religious orders. At age 15, Martin wanted to join the Dominicans of Holy Rosary in Lima. And so he asked the Dominicans to accept him as a volunteer who performed the most menial tasks in the monastery. They agreed, and in return, Martin was allowed to wear the habit and live within the religious community. He started as a servant boy, and he eventually moved up to the church officer in charge of distributing money to deserving poor in the area. And so his roots, as someone who believed deeply in his faith in God and saw himself as a servant of God, they were nurtured from a very young age. And it's really quite inspiring to see how we're going to continue that legacy on in these very important forums and discussions. Matt, I really want to just to go back and also talk about how this forum is being used to expand the definition of what Catholic Charities is doing in Chicago. We've always been known as an agency that helps people in need, but through this forum, we are going beyond that and trying to become part of the solution and get to the root causes of some of the hardships that our clients suffer, correct?
I think one phrase or saying that keeps popping to my mind as we've been planning this event is the proverb, when you pray, pray with your feet. And I think St. Martin de Porres Society is a way for us to embody that. And, I think we have this just wonderful community of Catholic Charities I've gotten to know over the last 6 months here working on staff, of just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who have committed their lives to working alongside us as staff, and then thousands of people who have supported philanthropically or by serving alongside us at different service opportunities. And I think St. Martin de Porres Society is a way to capture that energy and that spirit of this broader community and hopefully catalyze it for instigating broader change and systemic change here in Chicago. And so we hope people will come to this event and the future ones and leave having a better understanding of what is happening in Chicago, depending on the topic of the seminar. We want people to come to these events and leave inspired to take action, to pray with their feet, to move, to volunteer, to join a regional mission board. And so these events are open to everybody, but we really want to push people's thinking, push people's conception of what their role is in solving these systemic challenges. And I think that's one of the topics of discussion I'm most excited about for next week, is not just what Catholic institutions are already doing, but what do we really believe our role to be here in Chicago and nationally.
As so often we're prompted for these types of events, right, to have people walk away not just thinking differently, but acting differently, correct? So I think that the forum with Bishop Lombardo and Sally Blount as leaders, they're incredibly well suited to lead this conversation based on the little that we've heard so much or we've heard about St. Martin de Porres. Remind us a little bit about Sally Blount and Bishop Lombardo and their rich backgrounds that they have and how they've used their skills in support of the Catholic Church.
I think what excites me about this conversation is you have two incredibly faith-filled, passionate people coming at this same issue, but from very different perspectives. So Bishop Lombardo is now Bishop of Vicariate 3, which encompasses the west side of Chicago and a lot of the western suburbs, and sees everything from Austin and the challenges of poverty and the opportunities in the city and the rich community that exists there, to the suburbs and the different challenges that are there. But his background is from spending time in Honduras and Bolivia and seeing challenges of poverty in totally different contexts. And so when he came to Chicago, working in a mission on the west side of Chicago, he applied a lot of those lessons. I imagine he'll speak to those. And so his entry point and approach to addressing poverty from a lens of the Catholic faith has a very particular angle. And then you have Sally Blount, who's going to engage in this conversation as well, CEO of Catholic Charities. And, as listeners likely already know, Catholic Charities is the largest social service provider in the Midwest, with an annual budget of about $200 million and 1,200 staff. And we serve 500,000 people or more every year. And so you have different angles on this work. Sally comes from a background of having been dean of the Northwestern Kellogg School of Business, before that a business school professor at the University of Chicago, NYU, and elsewhere. And so, different lens to the work. Thinking about strategic and system-wide approaches to poverty, and Bishop Lombardo on the ground basis, one-to-one facing individuals in need. And I think it's going to make for a really interesting conversation of what what is each of our individual roles in this approach to poverty? What should we systemically as a Catholic community invest in, and where should we place resources, and where should we look for results, and what kind of results do we expect? What will be different now and in 20 years based on the efforts of the Catholic community to address poverty? And I think if you really pause on that question and think about it, we should know that things are different based on the efforts of Catholic Charities, based on the efforts of the Catholic Church more broadly. And so I think this conversation will hopefully push that envelope of what we expect from our institutions and the ways in which we can find out that they're already working and solving these problems.
So we're talking with Matt McCabe, the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives at Catholic Charities. We're going to take a break right now. Matt, stay with us because we're going to talk more about the launch of the St. Martin de Porres Society and at the inaugural event next Wednesday, June 22nd, and more about the life of St. Martin de Porres. So please stick around. You're listening to The Voice of Charity.
Catholic Charities is establishing a forum for dialogue and debate about complex issues in our world, involving social values, faith, social justice, and the mission of charity. We are convening professionals who influence corporate, philanthropic, and government decision-making to foster greater awareness about the needs of our region and the power of faith in serving. Join us for the first gathering of the St. Martin de Porres Society on Wednesday, June 22nd at the Newberry Library, 60 West Walton Street in Chicago. St. Martin de Porres was a Peruvian lay brother of the Dominican order who is noted for his work on behalf of the poor. At this inaugural event, Bishop Robert Lombardo and Sally Blount, Catholic Charities President and Chief Executive Officer, will lead a discussion on poverty and the Catholic response. For more information on attending this special event, call 312-948-6797 or email us at partners@catholiccharities.net.
People always say, how can you spend your day with 3-year-olds? Seeing the changes that they go through and just the journey and how they grow, this is a very rewarding job. Even though at the end of the day, we're not the highest paid people on earth. And when I have a parent contact me and say, my child loves school, that to me, I'm setting that foundation for their love of learning, because really you are changing lives, you are molding lives.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Get ready for a fabulous day of golf for a great cause as Catholic Charities 2022 Golf Invitational tees off at the beautiful Olympia Fields Country Club on Monday, June 27th. Gather your friends, family members, and work colleagues for a day that is sure to be a highlight of your summer. Enjoyable contests and surprises are planned throughout the day to make this one extraordinary golf outing. Proceeds from this event will benefit Catholic Charities programs and services in Cook County. Fantastic sponsorships are still available for an invitational that is one of the most popular summer golf events in Chicago. Don't miss the 2022 Catholic Charities Golf Invitational on June 27th. For more information, go to CatholicCharities.net or call 847-226-5697. That's 847-226-5697.
Welcome back to The Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, here with Phil Zepeda in the studio today, and we're talking about the inaugural event of Catholic Charities St. Martin de Porres Society. It's going to be held on Wednesday, June 22nd at the Newberry Library from 5 to 7 p.m. And the topic of this new forum of dialogue and debate about important issues in our society, this inaugural event is going to be titled Poverty and the Catholic Response. And speaking at that event are going to be Bishop Robert Lombardo, who is the Bishop of Vicariate 3 here in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and Sally Blount, who is Catholic Charities President and Chief Executive Officer. And with us today to talk about this very special event and the creation of this new society is Matt McCabe, who is Catholic Charities Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives. Welcome back, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
And so we were talking before the break about St. Martin de Porres and his really inspiring life of service to the poor. And so, Phil, would you like to expand on that a little bit of what we talked about?
Yeah, the selection of the naming of the society after St. Martin de Porres lands so incredibly well. So I want to take us through a little bit more about his background of growing up in deep poverty within Peru. During his time in the convent, for the Dominicans of the Holy Rosary, he took on trades in the kitchen and did laundry and clean, but he was also around barbering, right? But mostly healing. And at age 24, Martin was allowed to take his vows as a Dominican lay brother. But around all of his work is his gentle hands and his tender caring. He was still mocked by many members of the Dominicans of the Holy Rosary, and they objected, calling him names based on his background. So here it was, his brothers, right, in this society back then, still mocking him. Martin was ultimately assigned to that infirmary where he spent so much time and he remained in charge of until his death. And he became known for carefully and patiently caring for the sick, even in the most difficult situations. He was praised for his unconditional care of all people, regardless of race, wealth, or what disease they might be suffering from. And again, Matt, there couldn't be anyone better selected for the naming of the society for what we face within Chicago and with our nation, within our world, around reaching out to people in need. So I'd love some more interpretations about what the selection of St. Martin de Porres means to you as in the naming of this society.
Yeah, I think why St. Martin makes so much sense here is he's a doer that appeals to thinkers. And that's really what this forum is about. He's talking about the big ideas of poverty, but if you see the common thread through his life, he's somebody who walked alongside those who were, seriously ill in the 1500s, right? So I think it's telling that we describe his background as both a barber and a doctor, right? And I, for one, am glad that those people are different professions now, and I can go to two different locations for both a haircut and a surgery. Right. But in, St. Martin de Porres Day, it's all one and the same. And I think, if I am by no means a scholar on St. Martin de Porres, but from the little I do know about his life, he truly walked alongside those who others wouldn't touch. And I think those are big ideas we want to address here in the St. Martin de Porres Society, and then challenge those in the room to go out and do things about it, whether that be to advocate for different policy change or to volunteer and serve alongside us at the regional mission boards. And so regardless of the level of time commitment you can make to Catholic Charities or efforts to combat poverty here in Chicago, I encourage you to come and attend and engage in the conversation. I think one thing we should mention is there'll be an opportunity for audience questions. So you can ask Bishop Lombardo and CEO Sally Blount questions that you might have on your mind. And while this might be the first door you walk through, and in a couple months or a couple years, maybe we can draw you in to serve alongside us and see firsthand the opportunities to address poverty and other challenges here in Chicago. And
again, as you're looking at your schedule for next Wednesday, June 22nd, 5 to 7 p.m., at the Newberry Library, Chicago. Tickets are available by reaching out to Catholic Charities at either 312-948-6797 or sending us an email at partners@catholiccharities.net. Matt, St. Martin, we've got this now. He's the perfect choice to honor and ask for his intercession as this new society takes shape. Do you anticipate, what are your hopes and dreams and aspirations for the St. Martin de Porres Society moving forward? And what are other topics that are beginning to be floated around for future forums?
Yeah, I think we're starting out with just a wonderful set of speakers with Bishop Lombardo and CEO Sally Blount. But I think this is the tip of the iceberg and the beginning of a great series. And so, I think for the future, we'd love to see a mix of national speakers who come in and bring a national lens to things that we might be facing here in Chicago. And then also a space for Chicago leaders who might not have had a preeminent stage to stand up and become recognized for the work that they're doing. And so we expect in terms of topics, a really wide variety of things, everything from poverty, like this first event, to perhaps homelessness or responses to the pandemic, or looking at wealth inequality or income inequality here in Chicago, which has widened significantly during the course of the pandemic, or racial justice and looking at racism within and outside of the church. And so really, we want to take what are the most important issues of the day, the things that, people wake up thinking about, worry about for their kids, or think about what kind of society or city they want to live in. We want to bring those issues together here for the St. Martin de Porres Society events and give people interesting and informed perspectives to help them think about that, and then most importantly, take action and do things as a result of the conversation they're engaging in.
Well, Matt, again, I think it fills such an important void that doesn't exist within the Chicagoland community around these types of topics. So kudos to you and the team at Catholic Charities for spending some time to put this together and assemble this. I want to pivot, if we can, and talk a little bit about another project that you're working on within Catholic Charities. Very important. It's this work on regional mission boards, right? And you've been working on these that are taking shape within the 6 vicariates of the Archdiocese of Chicago, aligning with those, so there's some greater understanding and resource sharing appropriately. Can you give us some update on how that's going and where you think mission boards will be, when they'll be up and running?
Yeah, so I think to zoom out for a half second, the vision that Sally Blount's laid out is we have a home for everybody who wants to be a partner here with us at Catholic Charities. And so whether you want to engage philanthropically as a partner in giving, or you want to engage in our mission and volunteer alongside us with the regional mission board or partners in mission, or you want to pray with us as a partner in prayer, there's a place and a home for you. So if you hear nothing else from me, hear that we want you and want you to engage with us here at Catholic Charities. It's a matter of finding the right mix of your time commitment and interest and skills and capacity, and where we can plug you in to be, most impactful for those we serve. And so the regional mission boards are one of the key structures for the partners in mission. We have an excellent set of co-chairs for the regional mission boards, and right now they're filling out their leadership teams. And over the next couple of weeks and months, those will be fully active and online. And as you might imagine, some are a little bit further ahead, some are a little bit still getting set up, but over the next couple of months, anybody who wants to get engaged should have a way to do so through those regional mission boards. And the one other thing, if I might add, is the junior board. So we have a junior board working group that's come together over the last 6 months to relaunch the junior board after the pandemic. And that was a question that came up quite a bit in these partner gatherings we spoke about on a previous show. And so the junior board is planning a relaunch later in this year, and we've got leadership coming together of that group. So we're really excited. And if you're somebody who's listening and wants to get involved there, please reach out and we'd love to get you plugged in.
Wonderful. Yeah, our live stream was showing photos from those recent spring partner gatherings. And I agree with you. There's wonderful momentum and excitement as people are seeing that this is a very logical next step for Catholic Charities to take to expand our work on the local parish level. Can we talk a little bit more about that? Because already many parishes throughout the Archdiocese are supporting Catholic Charities in incredibly generous ways. Some of the St. Vincent de Paul societies or outreach teams in each parish go out of their way to identify needs at Catholic Charities throughout the year, and then they hold fundraisers within their parishes to support our work. Can you share how the regional mission boards are not going to be interfering with that, but actually supporting that and expanding that work and also creating greater awareness of all that we do in programs and services? Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, of course. So the regional mission boards, I think the headline is nothing good that's already happening will be paused, right? We don't want to stop an existing food pantry or existing, celebration of giving or anything like that. It's an existing program that's running really well. We want those things to continue. The regional mission board structure is really a common shared language across regions here in Chicago to give us a way for somebody new to come in and get engaged. So let me give a concrete example, if I might. So let's say in the Western region, there's a set of parishioners who say, you know what, we've got 7 to 10 of us. We've got Tuesday nights free from 6 to 8 p.m. We really want to get involved. What can we do? Rather than that effort be directed in a way that might not be productive, the regional mission board structure allows that group to form what we're calling a mission team. That mission team will talk with regional staff and say, where can you use us? Where can we actually be impactful? Then Catholic Charities staff will ask those on the program that same question. We'll find the place where both capacity and needs meet together so we can have impact for clients. And so I think that's really the key, is to create a structure that's scalable. And so as the next set of 10 people who have Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10 a.m. free, we can have them start their thing too. And this will grow and grow and grow is the hope and the aspiration.
And so, as Matt said, the regional mission boards are coming together right now. The chairmen are in place, and they are creating their structure within each regional mission board in alignment with the Vicariates of the Archdiocese of Chicago. And if anybody out there would like to learn more about who the chairperson is in their region, we're happy to take that phone call or that email. You can email us at partners@catholiccharities.net or call me at 312-217-9145. Again, that's 312-217-9145. It really is my honor to work with you and your team, Matt, in trying to help people figure out how they can contribute in their own region. So we're excited to hear from anybody in our audience. Please, as Matt said, all are welcome. Please reach out to us, and we're happy to put you in touch with your regional mission board chairperson.
Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show today. You've got so much work ahead of you with the St. Martin de Porres Society, as well as everything with regional mission boards and everything else that you're doing. So we're grateful. I am grateful to be your colleague, and thanks for joining us today. Again, join us for the St. Martin de Porres Society launch event, Poverty and the Catholic Response, on Wednesday, June 22nd at the Newberry Library in Chicago. Tickets are available at CatholicCharities.net. And we hope to see you there.
Thanks again, Matt, for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann with Phil Zepeda, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.